Good morning, bikepacking.com. My name is Daniel, and I have a love-hate relationship with your site. Love because I've spent so much time reading the stories of adventure. I love the Bikepacking Journal. It's my favorite site on the internet. Hate because your excellent and unbiased product reviews have caused me to spend all my spare cash on bikes, bags, and bars. And I have to block your website on my phone so I don't use it at work. So I figure what would be a better idea would be to make this relationship official and spend all of my time on your site in one capacity or another. So with this thought in mind, I've decided to take you on a little bikepacking trip this weekend and explain to you why I'd be a great fit for your tech editor role. But first, it's early and I need a little more sleep.
I've been into bikes ever since I bought my first one in London, and then 3 days later decided that I was going to cycle 110 miles overnight in the Dunwich Dynamo. That was an extremely poor decision, but I think it shows that I'm pretty enthusiastic about throwing myself into any new project I set my mind to. I got really into the outdoor side of things once I got to California and realized that I could combine biking with camping. I cycled down to Los Angeles, and it was one of the best holidays I ever had. It was the most adventurous and the cheapest. So all of that combined to make that my new passion. I attempted to cycle around Taiwan with a friend. A lot went wrong on that trip. Food poisoning on Christmas Day, a trip to the hospital on the 29th of December, the extraction of wisdom teeth on New Year's Eve. So what was intended as a leisurely 17-day cycle around the island became about 5 days of cycling and then a lot of eating in Taipei. But basically that's the type 2 fun of bikepacking and cycle touring. In terms of work experience, I have a bit of an unusual origin story. I originally studied law and psychology in my hometown in Australia. I finished on exchange in Sweden before I went home to become a lawyer forever, which I really didn't want to do. I visited Edinburgh in Scotland for 2 weeks and ended up accidentally staying there for 4 years, where I attempted to make it in a band. We had a bit of success, we played some festivals, we moved to London where it all fell apart. But after that, relevant to this position, I actually spent a few years as a proofreader and a digital editor. In my experience as a digital editor in London, I'm quite familiar with working with a team on a CMS, publishing new content through there, working with other writers. In terms of producing and writing reviews, writing is one of my greatest strengths. Of course, on the technical side of things, I take a bunch of photos, I create videos, I'm proficient in Final Cut, Lightroom, Capture One, etc., etc. In terms of video production, I'm working on a video right now just for fun where I'm shooting a saddle shootout of the 12 most comfortable bikepacking saddles. And I'm just doing that because that's what I enjoy geeking out on. So you may as well pay me for that and put it out under your name. In terms of gear knowledge, generally having compared every pannier, bikepacking bag, bike component, anything tangentially related to bikepacking, including outdoor gear. Myself being 6'5", I struggle to find any gear big enough for me. So as a separate passion project, I do tall person focused reviews, which can be a little less thrilling, a little less travel related, although I do have some very epic videos of me making a complete idiot of myself reviewing travel pillows. So therefore have a particularly deep knowledge of sleeping bags and tents, particularly the exact dimensions of all of them as well, and whether or not they're above the critical 92 inches. Oh, and by the way, I build all my own bikes. I'm very familiar with the mechanics of them. I built my Prospector. I just built my partner up a nice Salsa Fargo. So after going back to school, ending up in a different career path, ending up in America because of it, and I do have a green card now, don't worry, I've decided to get back into more of a creative industry. And to combine my creative skills with bikepacking.com would be my dream job, basically. I've spent so much time on your site, I feel like I know everybody's a family. From empathizing with Logan's stalk-like inseam that causes him some fitting issues on various bikes, to adding Oaxaca as a list of destinations I'd like to spend some time in through the recommendations of Kaz.
These things are such a pain in the ass, Kaz, really.
And also aspiring myself to create content as quality and engaging as Neil's, although I don't have quite the same epic flowing locks. Generally, I'd love to be part of the future of bikepacking.com, have some feedback on where it's going and ways the site can be generally improved. I'd have to say there in my most recent life as a web developer, I've definitely got some performance tweaks I could make to your website. So there's a rough bit of information about me. I definitely have a different background, but I think if you happen to be looking for a musician, programmer, photographer, journalist, content creator, all-around bike nerd writer for your site, then you could probably do worse. Thank you for your time.